Welcome back to the third episode of the Matthew Rice Show. This week on the show, we will be getting you set for championship weekend, as well as talk about the playoff madness that is to be had throughout these games this weekend. We also will have Virginia Tech student Carter Grimm on the show to talk about Hall of Famer Frank Beamer and the legacy that he is leaving, and also about new hire Justin Fuentes coming over from Memphis. And we will also check in on the Elite Eight in men's college soccer. It is getting down last weekend of the campus sites before they head off to Kansas City for College Cup next Friday through Sunday. Starting with the Dr. Pepper ACC Championship game taking place in Charlotte, North Carolina, between number 1 ranked Clemson taking on 10th ranked North Carolina. The Tigers come into the ACC Championship off a nail-biting win over South Carolina, 37-32. The Tar Heels come in off a win against in-state rival NC State, 45-34. Now, there are numerous matchups I am looking forward to in this game this weekend. Starting with North Carolina quarterback Marquise Williams, a very dual threat quarterback, very good with the legs, and I believe that is going to be a big key to this weekend. Clemson's defense, you gotta get those feet moving, and that's one thing they struggle with. But Ryan Switzer for their wide receiver, very good receiver. Gets out into the flats of defenses and causes massive chaos for opposing defenses. Turning to Clemson, Deshaun Watson, Heisman candidate, big dual threat quarterback, will pass and use his legs. I expect him to have a 200-yard rushing game Saturday night. Wayne Gallman has had a pretty good year. I expect him to play a big role Saturday night, but I believe Watson is going to be the X factor. And Mike Williams out of the receiving corps for Clemson, very good receiver. Now, 244 miles southeast in Atlanta, Georgia, is the site of the SEC championship game between number 2 Alabama taking on 18th ranked Florida. The Crimson Tide come in off a win in the Iron Bowl against Auburn, 29-13. Now, I don't think Kirby Smart would like giving up 13 points. By the way, welcome Kirby Smart to Athens, Georgia. The 10-2 Gators come in off a loss at home to Florida State, 27-2. Now, we all know Derrick Henry for Alabama is the Heisman frontrunner. I do expect him to run away with the Heisman in the latest Heismanology. Joe Tessitore of ESPN has him in a blowout win. So we will have to see if that holds up. Now moving to the Pac-12 Championship out in Santa Clara, California at Levi Stadium between 7th-ranked Stanford taking on 20th-ranked USC. The Cardinals come in off a huge win on a last-second field goal over Notre Dame, 38-36 last week. On the other side, the Trojans come into the Pac-12 championship game of a blowout win against crosstown rival UCLA. Now, we know about Kevin Hogan for Stanford. We know about all the dual threats of USC and Cody Kessler. I believe Cody Kessler will have a big game this weekend, but I don't see it standing up very well against Stanford. I do see Christian McCaffrey, the running back for Stanford, having a blowout game, and I do see him climbing up the Heisman polls this weekend. Now, the game that, in my opinion, and I think in everyone's opinion, has the biggest impact in college football this weekend is the one happening in Indianapolis between 4th-ranked Iowa taking on 5th-ranked Michigan State for the Big Ten title. The Hawkeyes come in, they win Friday against Nebraska, 28-20. The Spartans come in off a Big Ten East clinching win over Penn State at home in a blowout effort, 55-16. We know about Connor Cook. He is expected to play, and I expect him to have a big game for the Spartans. I think going to be a little bit too much to handle for Iowa. Well, we've reached the final weekend of campus site games in the NCAA men's soccer tournament before they head off to Kansas City next Friday through Sunday for College Cup. The ACC is dominating so far. There are still 4 ACC teams remaining in college soccer. It is Clemson, Wake Forest, Syracuse, and Boston College. Getting you set with some of the matchups. We all know the matchup I will be paying attention to happening in Winston-Salem, North Carolina this weekend between number 1 overall ranked Wake Forest taking on Stanford. Watching this Wake Forest team, I love the effort they put out every single week. And it starts with freshman Jack Harrison. In my opinion, should and hopefully will be National Player of the Year. Has numerous talents. I mean, you can put 3 guys on him, and he will just go through all 3 guys. It is exciting to watch him. It is exciting to watch Wake Forest. I got to give a shout out to my boys Chase and John Schumann at Wake. Wish I could be in Kansas City this weekend, but I got to be here working. So, best of luck to you guys. The other matchups, Creighton taking on Akron. This Creighton team is a dangerous team. I expect them to be in Kansas City next week. Now, we know there will be at least one ACC team representing in Kansas City. Boston College is taking on Syracuse. And in the second biggest matchup, in my opinion, Maryland is taking on Clemson. I expect Clemson to be victorious in that game. Now, getting to my picks for this weekend. I got Alabama winning 31-24. Derrick Henry is going to be too much for the Gators. Now, my big upset, I got North Carolina beating and knocking off top-ranked Clemson 31-21, and the Ohio State Buckeyes, I believe, will get in somehow, some way. Now, I got Stanford victorious against USC 27-10, and I got Sparty 31-24. We would like to thank you for joining us on another episode of The Matthew Rice Show. Don't forget to go follow me on Twitter and Instagram. We hope you will join us next week. Actually, we are going to have a selection show preview Sunday night, so we hope you will join us for that. Until then, this is Matthew Rice signing off.